You're listening to FAMcast, the For All Manakind podcast, with your hosts, the competitive spirit, Trey Simpson, our own devil's advocate, Tim Weber, and the hopelessly optimistic Trevor Jorgensen. This is FAMcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to FAMcast. This is episode 88, and we are back with an episode that's a little bit different than normal. Normally we have a topic we all want to discuss together, and that's still true. But this time we're going to be reviewing a game, just in an open discussion format, to where normally we discuss different news in the gaming industry, or maybe talking about our impressions of different showcases, game events. Such as the Resident Evil showcase that we did last week. But this time it's just going to be more of an open forum around what we think of a specific game. And if it goes well, we might do more in the future. I know normally we've done like our Into reviews, just shorter reviews for social media. And we've done some full reviews, like where we actually script it out and put video with it on YouTube. We've done a handful of those in the past. So this is going to be somewhere in the middle, to where it's a little more casual, and just getting us all together to have that open discussion. And with that, our first review on the FAMcast will be around Loop Hero, which in my mind has been one of the, it was kind of one of the bigger surprises so far of this year. Like I remember we had seen it. I don't know if it was at the Video Game Awards, or we saw it in some sort of showcase, and we're like, oh yeah, it looks cool. But actually getting hands on with it, I think all of us were pretty impressed. Like I don't think any of us expected to be as drawn into it as we were. I think I think maybe four of us got into it all around the same time, just because we kept talking about how great it was.
Yeah. I'm just sitting there, and I'm sitting there playing. I don't remember what game I was playing. I get a message from Trevor, and it's just like, dude, ... Loop Hero, ... you need to play it. Like, that's what it was. I was like, okay. And I remembered after I looked up what it was, because I had no idea what it was when you said that. I was like, I don't even know what this game is. And I looked, I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this in some kind of announcement thing. I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing it. And yeah, no, I did not expect when I decided to play, because I think the first time I played it was on stream, because I was like, okay, well, fine, it'll be a cool streaming game. We'll do it for this next stream. I got completely sucked into it. Like, it was super fun.
Yeah. And it's to give a little bit of a synopsis, I guess, as far as what Loop Hero is. It's a really interesting mix of genres, because it's a roguelike. You go through until you die, and you get upgrades for your next loop, and then you die again, and you just keep kind of building yourself up until you beat the level. But it's also a card game, like a deck building game, to where you get to choose which cards you have in your deck that you can pull from. And it's also a turn-based game. There's turn-based combat, only turn-based combat. And I guess I should maybe break that down even further. Automated turn-based combat. Because you don't have any choice in what your attacks are. Like if you're thinking Final Fantasy, it's not necessarily that, because you're not choosing attack, defend, magic, anything along those lines. So it's a very wild mix of genres that make it really unique. Nothing else really like it. It's something that I didn't expect to get that deep into in 2021. And the maybe to take it a step further, the lore, because I don't think any of us have beat it. Tim's gotten the furthest.
I think I'm on the final stage.
Okay,
but it's tough.
Yeah, it's not an easy game that you can just go through, and unless you are just, I guess, super talented at this stuff, or just get super lucky. I've probably died 100 times and I'm still on the second stage. Um,
Hmm,
but
fair.
so we've talked about or I kind of just explained the gameplay, but the story, it's kind of like there's this lich. The world is basically gone, like it's all like broken up into the void, and you're trying to piece it together, and you do so by like putting these tiles on the ground. That's where the card or the deck building mechanic comes in, and you play down these tiles to basically build the earth back, or the world, whatever it is. And the further you build the world, the closer you get to fighting the boss.
Right.
So with its unique mechanics, and I think it's a pretty interesting story. What are some of the standout things to you guys when it comes to Loop Hero?
So of course, graphically, I'm a Pixar first, like pixel art, and like chip tunes, which it both has. The music is fantastic.
Yes, it is very
Like
good.
every aspect of it is really cool. Like the character sounds, like down to just like attacking, it's very satisfying to hear because it's that very like classic, what you consider like 8-bit noises, I guess. I don't know. Either way, it's
Yeah.
very like the very like pixelated sound. I don't know. I really like it a lot. Kind of takes me back. And then like the UI is like very reminiscent of that too. It's very like minimal. Kind of reminds me of like an old RPG kind of game on like an old. I don't even know what even kind of computer it would be, like a Commodore or something like that. You know, it's just like super old. But
Yeah.
like graphically, it's very pleasing to look at. Just because I'm a sucker for
Yeah.
huge sucker for pixel
Yeah.
graphics.
The music is so addicting too.
Mhm.
Like it's so easy to get stuck in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially since I mean, really, the game can go at a pace that you want it to, because
Mhm.
if you want it to run, since it's an auto battler, I guess, or auto turn based, it'll keep going until you die if you don't do anything. So
Just go get food and
exactly, you have the option for it to auto pause after every battle. Um, I like that because I can play it if I'm playing, like if we're having raid night in WoW, I can play it in between kills or something like that. So with it going on as long as you wanted to, it's nice that the songs loop, and there's a few different tracks, but they're all great.
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I was gonna say, what about you,
I was gonna
Tim?
say, the first big thing that I really enjoy about, like, after playing it, as far as I did, is I appreciate the fact that, yes, you really I don't know if you want to call it like a choose your own adventure, but at the same time, like, there is a good balance between making it good for gear to go to be able to grind gear, like, because you have to fight enemies to level up and to get gear, but at the same time you have to find that balance of doing that and not overwhelming yourself, because if you're not careful and you place things um too much too soon, or you start comboing really big things, because there are hidden like combos that you can do in the game that they don't tell you.
Yeah,
So if you put this with this, something might happen that you're not aware of, right? um so I really appreciate the fact that, like, as a player, you have to try to find this balance of trying to get good gear. And even though everything's RNG, you can help your RNG out by, maybe potentially giving yourself a tougher challenge. But it's like a risk reward. You can do that, but then all of a sudden, if you just don't get the gear, there's a very good chance you will never even come close to seeing the boss, and you'll just get
Yeah.
smacked.
Very
yeah.
true.
It's definitely this game is all about balance. It's and I think you kind of get it. You learn not to punish yourself kind of early on, right? Because it's easy to throw
Right.
down every tile you get.
Mhm.
Like you could very easily just throw everything right down in your first loop, but then you spawn so many enemies you can't take them on.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's kind of the fun part, is seeing how long you can drag
Loop.
out certain loops, or balancing it so you can survive till the later stages, because everything gets harder with each full loop that you do around this stage, because you go in a loop, you start at your campfire, you make a full loop, and you're just filling in tiles along this loop as you play along.
Yep.
And if you fill it out too much, you will definitely die very early on. But so you have to kind of pace it out, spawn few enemies, and then like Tim said, there's hidden combos that once you play a certain number of a specific tile, you might come up with a goblin camp or those harpies that spawn from the mountain. So if you just start, blowing your loads super early, it's not gonna play in your favor.
I think it's the cool thing, right? Like, I think I'm a big fan of the combo system that's in the game. I kind of hope, like, if there's like a Loop Hero 2 or, they add on, DLC to the game, I hope they do a lot more combos with some of these cards. I think that's like my favorite part of the game, other than the visual appeal of it.
Yeah, because I was definitely just trying to add cards together to see if anything happened. Like, once I figured out, like, oh, if you put this card, this happens. Like, oh, what else is there?
Yep.
Absolutely.
It was really cool. And I think it is something that's a good point that I feel that this could definitely get DLC in the future.
Absolutely.
Like at that point, you're adding, new, what do they call the, I guess just cards. You just add new cards, new tiles. And then in between each loop, you go to your campsite, right? And that's where you can place an alchemist hut, like a little cooking place, a blacksmith. You can place all these different villager upgrades so you can get new cards. They have different effects. I think like the herbalist hut is where you first get the potions. So there's just so much that they could add, even if it's just more buildings and cards, and they in some sort of DLC update.
I was completely content, and I had no idea until later on. I was completely content with only having like the warrior, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm playing, and I'm like, this is really fun. And I went into this game not even understanding that there were multiple characters. I literally thought it was just the warrior, and I was fine with it because there's so many different builds you can do. There's this and that and this. And then when I finally found out that you can unlock, there's additional like heroes, I was so like happy because like it was something that like I was not expecting at all. Maybe that was my fault for not reading into the game, not knowing what, looking into it at all.
But I'm in that same boat.
It blew my mind. I was like, not only is this game just fun, because it's a simple game, right? That's one of the best parts about it. The game is simple. It's not complex, but at the same time, there's a very deep side to it that you can dive into. So I wasn't expecting multiple heroes to be able to play, and I was like super thrilled, especially when I, saw the one class that I play now. And I don't know if whatever we're saying, but like I was super happy.
Yeah, no, I think at this point we could probably say it if you wanna go.
There's a necromancer. Yeah. I was so ecstatic that there was a necromancer in the game. I was like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah,
let's do it.
And that's another thing they could do with DLC, right? They could just add a new class, and have it come with some cards. I could see multiple little DLC packs to where you get one hero, some new buildings, and some new cards, and I would buy every single one of those up.
Let's be a pyromancer. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Then I'm with Tim there. The necromancer is a lot of fun. I like the summoning different types of skeletons depending on the items you get. You have your skeleton level, so some of them might be tanky, some of them might be more damage, like more damage dealers. And some of them are just the standard skeleton. So it's really cool what you can do with each class and each build.
Yeah, and that's the coolest thing, because you have all the different classes, all the different builds, and like for the necromancer, if you go, instead of going to like the power level, you might only be summoning little skeletons, but you can summon a shit ton of them if you go attack speed, and so you can really find a build even as a Me and Trevor probably play necromancer completely different.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
yeah, probably. That's one of the highlights of the game, though. It's very much. I think you said earlier, like a choose your own adventure, because you get to choose how you want to play. There's not really a wrong way to play. And I think that takes a lot of balancing, I'm sure, to make sure that works out. It's got to be easy when you're developing a game to kind of get pigeonholed and like this is the way to play with this one class, and this is how you play this card. But to have everything so balanced that people can play in multiple ways and still win, get through the game successfully, and you don't have to just go these cookie cutter builds. I think that's great game design.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like all the different aspects they put into it, like the different attributes that you get for your character. So like
Mhm.
vamp and block and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. I think that's super cool. 'Cause you really get to choose, how you want to play your character, which is really fun.
Yeah.
I always
Agreed.
like vamp. Vamp is like my favorite thing in like any game I
Lifesteal
play.
is always
But
good.
yeah,
Yep.
lifesteal is always awesome.
Yeah. Hard to beat lifesteal for sure. Overall, I'd say this game has been one of the highlights of the year so far. I know this will
Easily.
be I think this will be a lighter year overall, just with COVID kind of slowing everything down. So having a game this early on in the year, that's it's definitely a contender to be in probably my. I don't want to say anything yet because I don't know what all is going to come out, but I think
Mhm.
it'll still remain in the top of my lists come the end of the year.
For sure.
Just because it is so unique. It's something that I haven't really experienced before, and
Mhm.
just super creative.
Yeah. Also, devs, if you're listening, put it on the Switch. If you put it on the
Absolutely,
Switch,
100%.
so
Yeah.
good.
Mobile device of some sort. I don't even care. Just mobile. It
Yeah.
would be amazing on any kind of
Mhm.
mobile device.
Oh, I play it
I
on my
could-
tablet all day. That'd be so
Yeah.
fun.
Mm.
I could see playing that on an iPad. It would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
It would be a blast.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe we can get it on Game Pass, and then that means we can play it on XCloud.
So that would be so. Imagine if a DLC drops, okay? Because we kind of
Mhm.
did this ourselves. We made a race out of the
Yeah.
game. Like we did a fam race, and
Yes.
it turned out fantastic. Homemade rules and everything. But imagine if they dropped the DLC where you can literally like verse another person, and you get
That'd be
the
really
same
cool.
loop, and like if they can find a way to make something neat like that, this game could blow up. We could go MLG Loop Hero.
I see that when you describe that, it makes me think of Tetris 99.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh man,
And
that'd be
Yes.
cool.
I could see that being super cool because
Loop
when you
Hero
come up
99?
with yeah, exactly. You come up with certain tile combos and it sends enemies over to, another player.
Yes. Oh my God, that'd be so. Devs, hire us. We will work for this.
By work for it, we mean that's all you get. That's all
You
you
get the
got.
idea.
Just
to provide.
concepts. Yeah, we make great
Yeah,
concepts
yeah.
here at Fam.
Yep, we're here
Yeah.
for you.
Concepts.
Man, Trevor, Tetris 99 Loop Hero.
Yeah. It fits so
Ah.
well.
Yeah,
Or maybe-
send a golem to somebody.
Maybe it slows them down. Like you could have all sorts of
Oh,
effects to where
man.
like maybe it slows down their loop.
Fills
or
their
speeds it
hand
up.
with bad cards.
Yeah, yeah. Or you Oblivion. You can Oblivion some of their good cards.
Like you do an Oblivion and
man.
just obliviates
Yeah, that'd be really
some of the
cool.
random stuff. Like,
right.
dude, this is it.
Yeah,
That's the
I think
game.
that would be really cool. And granted, I don't think it would be on the scale of having 99 other players, right?
Of
But
course.
imagine it with 8. Like 8 other
Right.
players.
Yeah, I think 8 would
like,
be a good number.
Yeah, I think that would be so fun.
It
Like
would
no
be a
pausing.
blast.
Just like, well, I mean, I guess you kind of could do pausing in a way.
You could pause it for you,
whoever-
but then you're
Yeah.
at that point.
Maybe you only
you're
get like a certain
following
amount of
behind.
pauses or something.
You're hindering yourself if someone doesn't pause and is beating you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's just like when we did our race. We did a no pause race, which was stressful in
Yes.
itself, right?
It was.
100%.
But it, yeah, the no pauses is just stressful. I'm very thankful that they added a pause feature in the game. But it does, if you're looking for an additional challenge with the game, doing no pauses just kind of adds that level of chaos that you might be
yeah,
looking for.
it's pretty fun. It's a little hectic, but it's fun. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Not to like speak anything ill, but a couple things that I wish were a little bit better.
Sure.
And I guess really off the top of my head, it's really this one thing. And maybe I missed it, but it was not completely obvious, A, how to change your character over, and B, that you had to literally change your chapter. Like I played the same chapter multiple times because I didn't know I had to physically,
Yeah.
I didn't see where
Oh,
it
got
was.
it.
I didn't know I had to switch it. I thought it just went into it after you beat the first chapter. So maybe something there. And again, maybe I missed something while playing it, but if I was going to knock it for something, that's like the first thing that comes to my mind
Yeah.
is like it wasn't obvious how to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I don't mean obvious as in like I should, like it's different when it's like it's not obvious how to make a card combo. I'm not talking that I get that being secret, but me moving on, me going to the next chapter, I feel like should be pretty obvious as to what to do.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it I think this game does very well with having some of those secrets, like you mentioned, like the tile combos and some of that it's best left that way, like you said.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had any issues with I can't recall off the top of my head if I had any like UI related like frustrations or anything. Alongside with that, though, I will say they do very well with accessibility. I know with the font, they give a lot of different font choices. For people that might have difficulty with the default, and it's just always nice seeing additional accessibility options when
Absolutely
when they can. Any closing remarks on Loop Hero?
Just excited to see what they do, and if you decide to do a multiplayer version, just reach out to us. We'll help you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a continuing thing. Like, if this is like a new IP coming from Devolver, hope this is going to be a continued thing and not just like a one-time hit it and quit it kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, hope it's like hopefully it shows success to where they make a sequel or they keep adding on DLC. That's what
you have a great thing here. Keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. And it's I know it has great reviews kind of across the board. I constantly see 9s out of 10s. And it's only been out about a month and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild to think about. But yeah, like you said, Trey, Devolver is great at publishing these great indie games like this. And I'm not sure, 4 Quarters is the developer. I'm not sure what they've done previously, but they truly knocked it out of the park with this. If it's their first one, super props to them. Because this is a fantastic title that I think is very accessible for anyone to get into. It doesn't have a super harsh learning curve. I think it does a great job of easing people into it, and something that, in my opinion, if you own a PC and this and you're into roguelikes, deck building, turn-based, or all of the above, this is a game for you to check out 100%.
Absolutely.
So with that closes out our Loop Hero review. I think you can tell by what we said so far, this is definitely a FAM recommendation. So please check it out if you haven't already. And if you want to see more of these kind of open, honest discussion reviews, let us know. If there's a game that maybe you see us play on stream that you'd like to hear us talk more about, or there's something coming out like, say, Resident Evil or something along those lines you want us to review, let us know. I'm sure we'd be happy to do more of these if people like hearing them. But we appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in as always. Wherever you're listening, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, or wherever, make sure you subscribe so you can get notified whenever the next episode comes out. Drop us some fan mail questions in Discord if there's anything you'd like to hear us answer. And until next time, stay safe. See you later.
Later, guys.
Thanks for listening to FAMcast. Be sure to subscribe for the latest episodes and follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and our other socials at For All Manakind.